Well, good evening, folks. Again, this is Al Zucaro. We're here in studio in sunny South Palm Beach County, the city of Boca Raton. And as you know, we are continuing with our effort to bring the world closer and to show you the merits of Palm Beach County. Show is being brought to you by Fugazi International Travel. That's www.fugazitravel.com. And Palm Beach Regional Center, www.palmbeachregionalcenter.com. Today, in our feature article today, we're going to be talking about how a couple of weeks ago we mentioned that Dade and Broward County are actually winning in terms of economic development over Palm Beach County. And there was an article published about that. We mentioned it. This past week, there was another article just published that said that they are also winning in terms of tourism. The message from this we will investigate and we'll take a look at, but the message really is we need to step up and do a better job. In the meantime, in Fireworks and Politics, we're going to take a look at the Latino population, and we're going to take a look at this concept that some of the elements in immigration are to encourage greater interaction between the federal government and the state governments and the local authorities, and the pushback coming from the local authorities with regards to that, arguing that these people will not be community participants if they feel that they are at risk for deportation or for immigration consequences. And finally, we will complete the segment of Denise Marie Neiman and the book that she has published, and we are very happy to have had her on the show, and we will continue with the with the authors and ideas segment of the show as time goes on. Finally, we will close the show with a video vignette of the country of Greenland. Thank you very much. We'll be back in a moment. We are, all of us, the residents of a swiftly shrinking globe, where what was once local is fast becoming global, and our decisions and opinions resonate well beyond our own borders. Join me each week, your host, Al Zucaro, from the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere, Boca Raton, Florida, in sunny South Palm Beach County, for a pointed look at politics, immigration, culture, and what it means to be a citizen of the world. Okay, folks, our feature article today, we're going to take a pretty in-depth look into Palm Beach County, and we're going to reference what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where we highlighted an article that was researched, a very interesting and well-written article by Emily Roach from the Palm Beach Post, and it's titled County's Recovery Trails Neighbors to the South. And basically we talked about that in some depth, and we talked about how Palm Beach County is lagging behind Broward and Miami-Dade. Now, empirically, that is not a shocking statement. The fact of the matter is that Dade County, Miami, is truly an international hub, and it is truly the gateway into Latin and South America. So one would expect that subsequent or following counties would follow that. Broward has been experiencing a tremendous amount of expansion, particularly from the international over the last couple of years. And one would also expect that Palm Beach County would follow that. But what I said then, and what I want to again reiterate, is that we need to not become complacent. We need to compete better with them, because we can compete with them. So I'm encouraged by some of the statistics. I'm discouraged by some of the old attitude that still seems to be prevailing. And where does that show up? This week, there's another in-depth article, again by Emily Roach, again well-written, and in the Palm Beach Post, and it says, County Outgunned on Selling Tourism. This one really troubles me, because we should be the prime destination. The phrase Palm Beach is recognized globally regardless. And it's interesting to see what's going on. What happened is, a couple of weeks ago, there was a strategic planning session held by the Tourist Development Council. Now, the TDC has been leaderless for a while. Roger Amadin, who we interviewed here months ago, resigned to take a job in private sector, and he's now being replaced, and that will begin to take place. But this was done prior to his replacement. And it says that the retreat leader, a gentleman by the name of Bill Geist, told tourism leaders gathered for the TDC session that, quote, you're getting outgunned. And as the tourism marketing consultant who has worked with 150 destinations, he apparently speaks with some great authority. The end result is, as usual, that I'll give you the quote from Videnia Baker, who heads up the county, is the deputy county administrator who oversees all of this. She says, we all agree we need more money. Well, I don't. I mean, I don't believe that it is simply a function of money. I believe that it is more a function of execution. And I have given some good marks to the CVB recently. I think that they are beginning to move down the path. But one of the things that this county doesn't do is it doesn't take business and tourism in the same light. Why are we talking about it in two different structures? Why is tourism funded by a special bed tax and economic development is funded by the general revenue? It's never made sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. But what is being looked at now is to add an additional penny to the sales tax to a hotel bill to support additional marketing throughout the world. All that does is it gives us a little bit more money to follow the same old, same old. So I'm not in favor of that. And I think that the sixth penny is more harmful than it is helpful. Palm Beach County sells itself. We need to do a better job as a community selling their destination. I asked this question many years ago, and I will ask it again. When was the last time you took an international flight from anywhere in the world into the United States and were greeted by any kind of an advertisement that said, welcome to Palm Beach County? There is not enough marketing being done to attract the international investor. When was the last time you saw even stuff in the States that says on the turnpike between Orlando and Miami, there's a place called Palm Beach County? Not enough. So although things are moving very nicely with the CVB and moving in the right direction, we still have some way to go, and this article clearly demonstrates that. So I recommend that you take a look at this article. It's County Outgunned on Selling Tourism. It's written by Emily Roach, and it was published just last week. It was published this Sunday on March 17th, and you should be able to pick it up on the web. With all of that said, kudos and KOs will be kudos and KOs to the county for moving in the right direction, and KOs to the county for not moving there fast enough. We will see you in a little bit, folks. Thank you. Folks, under the banner of fireworks and politics, I want to continue with the theme that I've been raising with regards to immigration and with regards to what was arguably labeled back in the 1990s the Browning of America. This continues to happen, and of course the pinnacle of this was in the November 2012 election when 70-some-odd% of the Hispanic voters voted Democrat and was a major contributor to the Democrats winning that election. Just recently, this past weekend, there was an article printed in our local newspaper down here talking about the rise of Latino population blurring U.S. racial lines. And the opening sentence of this it's actually an Associated Press article written by an author. Her name is Hope Yen. And the opening sentence says, "Welcome to the new off-white America. A historic decline in the number of U.S. whites and the fast growing of Latinos are blurring traditional black-white color lines, testing the limits of civil rights laws, and reshaping political alliances as, quote, whiteness, close quote, begins to lose its numerical dominance." The article then goes on to take a look at some of the census data and the polling that took place during the last census. It says the latest census data and polling from Associated Press highlights the historic change in the nation in which non-Hispanic whites will lose their majority in the next generation somewhere around the year 2043. It says America's tip to a white minority has never occurred in its 237-year history and will be the first among the world's major post-industrial societies. Brazil, a developing nation, has crossed the threshold to majority-minority status, and a few cities in France and in England are near, if not past, that point. I mean, it's a very interesting article. It goes on to analyze Brazil. It says where multiculturalism, and by the way, multiculturalism in Brazil means more than just black-white relationships, which what it is often referred to here in the United States. Multiculturalism is celebrated. Social mobility remains among the world's lowest for blacks, while wealth is concentrated among whites at the time. In France, race is not recorded on government census forms, and people share a unified Gaelic identity, yet high levels of racial discrimination continue to persist. It quotes a report. It says, the American experience has always been a story of color. In the 20th century, it was a story of black and white. I really commend you to reading this article. It is published on March 17th. You can get it at www.palmbeachpost.com. And if you looked at it in the next couple of days, it's probably still available. If not, it goes under the rise of Latino population. It is in-depth, it is complete, and it's very well written. That leads me to some of the stuff that's going on in the immigration world. Many of the Hispanics, using them as the focus population, are here, and they're here in an undocumented way. Some of the immigration debate that's going on, particularly with the Gang of Eight who are trying to find a way to bring immigration, comprehensive immigration, are talking about things like greater interaction between the federal and the local authorities. There is some pushback to that notion. One would think that that is a good thing, but it must be coupled with other elements. The pushback is, in some respects, from the local law enforcement people. I know that our sheriff here in Palm Beach County has been often heard to say that his concern is that if his department works closely with Homeland Security with regards to the status of people in the marketplace, that the undocumented alien will be subject of crime and they will be reluctant to report that crime. That phenomena has been captured in a recent article on crimes, talking about many undocumented immigrants who are afraid to seek help, suffering crimes in silence. This is not a new phenomena. I think it is a red herring. The fact is that President Obama has signed some executive orders that have made it much more unlikely that people without major criminal history records will not be placed into removal and will not be brought into, be subject to deportation. That, coupled with the deferred action, coupled with the DREAM Act executive orders, suggest that people in the community will not hide from law enforcement when they are the victims of crime. So I think we need to move on from that old proposition that if the state and locals work with the feds, that the immigrant population will cower to the criminal. Old, not supportable in my mind, and part of the situation that doesn't allow us to move into the future. So I encourage you to, again, read this article, and you will find a lot of food for thought on whether or not we should continue down the path of comprehensive immigration reform. With all of that said, I thank you very much, folks. We're going to move on from here to the last segment of our interview with Denise Marie Neiman under Kudos and Chaos, and we will close the show out with a video of the great country of Greenland and continuing with our investigation and vignettes around the Western Hemisphere. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Who's the publisher?
I actually published it myself through CreateSpace.
Okay.
And you'll find this interesting. I have an agent, a great New York agent who specializes in health. I have been working with Linda for 17 years now. We have not sold a book. They love my writing style. They love my ideas. But the fact that I'm a lawyer all day long is almost a liability to them because I'm not actually professionally coaching people or taking them through a body cleanse or teaching them how to clear their mind. And, they say, why don't you write for somebody else? And I said, look, I have a very full-time job. This I do for fun, and I just can't see myself
What do you mean
staying
by
away.
write for somebody else? Ghostwrite for somebody else?
Mhm.
Oh, really?
So I've had opportunities to actually use my ideas and my words and putting someone else's name on it. And it has nothing to do with an ego, but my style is very different. It's as if, and this is the best compliment people have given me, it feels like I'm just sitting next to you, talking with you as I'm reading your book. So it's hard to translate to somebody else. So that's what I'm working on. So I gave up traditional publishing and thought, you know what, can you release me for one title only from my contract, and I'm going to give this a whirl. So I investigated all the different self-publishing houses and determined that Create Space, which is an Amazon company, was the best fit for me, and it was an amazing experience. And quite frankly, and I talked to my agent about this when I saw her in New York a couple months ago, I think this is the way to go. And it's not even because you make so much more money doing it yourself. You have editorial control. You're going to be marketing it yourself anyway. The big publishing houses can't afford to keep you on the road. So you're going to do it yourself anyway. Why not just do it really for yourself, in your own voice 100%?
You're going to do a video series?
I'm thinking about it. I have all kinds of ideas, Al. I just need more time.
Well, you're getting ready to retire soon.
Well, I have 3.5 years left. But you know, you never say never. There's that, you know, I could continue on for a few more years. But this is where my passion rests. I love what I do during the day. I feel like I can make a difference, but I really feel like I can make a difference through this on a personal level.
Wow,
So,
that's interesting.
That's where I'm going.
I mean, I remember when we used to go dancing at Sneakers in Fort Lauderdale way back when as a stress release from law school.
Right, and you were worried about me telling you the year, and now you want to bring up sneakers?
Nobody,
No, it was
only
true.
locals, only old-time locals might remember that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So you went on from law school. You went on from law school to get your PhD. You have a doctorate now.
Yes, I
mean,
do.
You
and-
continued your education. You've advanced your life. You've grown your personality and your presence. I mean, you've done a lot of things. You're a very successful woman.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the experience after law school, because law school was enough for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I started with the county attorney's office right out of school and felt that, you know, I just hang around in Palm Beach County and see, you know, who I can connect with, what kind of firm I'd want to work with to get a real job, because I had a perception about government, which was completely false and erroneous, because the very first day I realized there was no greater work and more real, interesting work than government. So fast forward over 26 years later, here I am.
Are you a Florida native?
No, born in Chicago.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And came here as
But
an adult or
no.
as a
So
child?
really, as Florida natives go, I've been here since the 5th grade. So
No, you're a
we're talking a
long-time
long
resident.
time person. My heart's in Chicago, though. That's my good Midwestern roots. No
Really?
offense to anyone who's born down south, but I'm proud of being from Chicago.
It's funny, you find most of the people from Chicago and St. Louis and the Midwest go to the West Coast. You come to the East Coast.
Absolutely. They take 75 and
You're
others
right.
take 95.
Instead of 95. Exactly.
Yes. My dad moved to the West Coast and he said, why didn't I discover this earlier?
Now, you mentioned your husband. Tell us a little bit about him.
Oh, he's an awesome guy. He's the one with the real cool job. He's in the concert business. He works for Live Nation. He runs the Florida music programs, directly responsible for Crucian Amphitheater, which everyone's familiar with, maybe as Coral Sky initially.
Right. That's out west on Southern Boulevard in
Yes,
West Palm
on the
Beach.
Fairgrounds.
Right, on the fairgrounds.
They always have something very exciting going on out there.
Live Nation was doing some stuff down here in Boca Raton, too, at one
At
point in time.
Meisner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still do some shows.
All right. Well, I think I'm getting the high sign from Wayne over here that we've exhausted our time in this interview. I want to thank you very much for coming today, and I want to congratulate you on your book. Will you be publishing it in multiple languages, or is it already published in
Well, of
multiple
course,
languages?
being the big Francophile that I am, as you know, it will be definitely published in French.
Okay.
And I'm working on, that's my intention this year, and also an audiobook.
Audiobook. So sooner or later, you're going to have a website up, or do you already have one?
I have a website already,
And what is that?
concertchick.com, and that was, and right now I'm just using that as a super blog platform. So, you know, keep my writing going and building my audience.
But at some point there'll be products on it, and people will be able to go there and buy the book,
You can do that now.
now.
The best thing, though, is Amazon. It's a lot easier for all people involved, and it's less expensive. So
Well, I'm gonna take the book home. I'm gonna read it from cover to cover because I can use some.
I'll quiz you later.
assist.
Quiz you later,
All right,
Al. We'll
very
go
good.
back to law school days, the Socratic method.
Thank you for taking the time this morning and coming down and speaking about the book. And congratulations on your new career. I'll keep watching you.
Thank you, though. I appreciate being here.
All right, folks, that is Denise Marie Neiman, a dear old friend, and I hope you will look at her book and enjoy it as much as I will. Thank you.
Te corso in una perusciutat a tocuscio mi kinni arabi in una risavit rimane via le pucci getting the corner many are pucci
We are, all of us, the residents of a swiftly shrinking globe, where what was once local is fast becoming global, and our decisions and opinions resonate well beyond our own borders. Join me each week, your host, Al Zucaro, from the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere, Boca Raton, Florida, in sunny South Palm Beach County, for a pointed look at politics, immigration, culture, and what it means to be a citizen of the world.
When I discovered the wonder of the path was easier to see. There ain't no other but the one I love. Won't you come deliver me? That's how it starts. That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Everyone has an inner Mustang. Unleash yours. The new 2013 Mustang.
What you do, this is how we do. Triple, triple to the right, to the left, let's move. Hey, hey. What's your three? Hey, you dug it with me. Throw your own little swag on this Swizzy beat. Hey, hey. What's your ball? If you're ready for more, jump rope, keep your feet off the floor. Hey, hey. I ain't worried doing me tonight. A little sweat ain't never hurt nobody. Don't just stand there on the wall. Everybody just move your body, move your body, move your body, move your body, move your body. Everybody.
Succeed.
Welcome to the next chapter. A new beginning. A great day. Two leading companies have joined forces to form the most comprehensive service provider our industry has ever seen. We are a company dedicated to listening to and satisfying our customers, creating opportunities for our employees, achieving long-term sustainable growth. And we are positioned to deliver on all three of these goals better than ever before in our history. Today, we are ready to meet the needs of customers in every rental segment: business travelers, leisure travel, in town, and insurance replacement. From humble beginnings more than 50 years ago, in the lower level of an auto dealership, with 7 cars and a dream, Jack Taylor started a tiny leasing company. With a hunch and a philosophy to take care of his customers and employees first, Jack's dream would grow into the largest rental car company in North America. And it would grow to be the most complete transportation service provider in our industry, expanding beyond car rental, including fleet management, car sales, and commercial truck rental, expanding beyond the United States into Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Germany, and Puerto Rico. This is a day that, thanks to your dedication and performance, we enjoy unparalleled financial strength and stability. And thanks to the Taylor family's continued commitment and investment into the business, we can be sure of long-term sustainability. Together, we stand ready to leverage the combined strengths of Enterprise, National, and Alamo to move our company to a whole new level of growth and success. We have always exceeded customers' expectations, listening to and taking care of them better than anyone in our industry. We have always created significant opportunities for the success of our company and our employees. Today, we are positioned to do these things better than ever before. It is truly a great day for all of us at Enterprise, National, and Alamo. We will continue to exceed and succeed.